So let's kick it off with a pretty basic concept, but a very common question. What is an estate plan? Exactly what is it that we need to do? And the easiest definition for me is the term estate plan, which can be kind of nebulous. It just refers to all of the parts and pieces you need to put together to accomplish your goals. That's what your estate plan is. It's a collection of the parts and pieces we need to accomplish your goals. Now, everybody's goals are going to be different. And when you hear an estate plan has to be customized to you and your goals, that's true. An estate plan does have to be customized to your goals, but how much customization goes into it because of those unique goals and wishes kind of affects what options are available to you to get your plan together. And when we talk later about DIY versus having an attorney draft it, we'll get into that and into a little bit more detail. Now, the vast majority of people have the same foundational goals in setting up their estate plan, especially if we're setting up the initial plan. There's kind of that floor set of what we're trying to accomplish in creating an estate plan. So that does make it pretty easy to say what should be in your plan. Now, for most people, those foundational goals are, if I'm ever incapacitated, let's make sure that someone I appoint can step in and make decisions for me, both medical decisions and financial decisions, in accordance with my wishes and without having to go through court. So avoiding court while we're alive is kind of the first thing. The second thing is the big one most people think about. Let's make sure if we pass away that we know who's going to inherit our stuff because we've designated it. We've structured that inheritance in a way that it's going to be responsible. It's not going to be in court. There's not going to be fighting. And we know who's going to be carrying out our wishes. It's kind of the second goal. And then, of course, if we have minor children, let's make sure that if something happens to us, we know who's going to, take in the kids, take care of them day to day, who's going to be their guardian, that we choose, the state doesn't choose. And those are kind of foundational goals for most people. Keep the family out of court while we're alive. Keep the family out of court if we pass away. Structure the inheritance in a way that's optimized for the beneficiaries. And let's take care of minor kids and make sure we have a plan in place where we know where they're going to go should something happen to us. Now, for other people, there may be more that we have to focus on in terms of goals in their estate planning. So if they have a special needs child, we need to care for them through particular planning. If they have tax concerns because their estate is over the estate tax threshold, that's another set of planning. If we have a business interest we need to protect, it's usually not as complicated, but it's another type of planning. Or, of course, if someone's really into asset protection and trying to plan that way, that's something that's beyond that kind of basic set of principles in setting your estate plan up. But whatever technique is needed to address those individual goals, that vehicle gets added to what becomes your estate plan. Now, for those basic goals, keeping the family out of court while we're alive, keeping the family out of court if we pass, structuring the inheritance properly, protecting kids. There's 4 basic documents that are going to be part of just about any estate plan in California. Usually, it's going to be a trust. Doesn't always have to be a trust, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But for a lot of people in California, a trust is going to be their leading document, their workhorse. But they'll also have a will, they'll have a healthcare directive, and they'll have a financial power of attorney. And you'll see different words for each of these. We'll talk about those because we're going to break out each document, what it does, what are some things to look out for in each. But those are the core documents that create any estate plan. Now, of course, there's other ancillary documents that go together with that plan, but those are the big 4 documents that create at least the foundation for a lot of estate plans in California. Now, we'll go through each of those documents in future modules, kind of break down more what they're about, what they do, how they should be structured, what you should look for. We'll kind of really dig into it. But for now, let's talk about why you need an estate plan.